That is a sigh of relief, Kevin. Do you know why?
Why?
Let me tell you why. Mm-hmm. Because we're back in our comfort zone here. We are recording at the darkness of night, which is what I prefer.
Not only are we going to be improved as podcast hosts, but the audio quality will be better because, little known fact, when I'm exposed to direct sunlight, I just sizzle. So
right. We got
little noise that was percolating in the audio channel, that was my flesh.
And I need to ride the levels and try and get that out of there. And,
you did great work. I could barely tell I was burning alive.
That's why we don't do that often. Last episode we recorded during the day, but we're back to it. We're back at our normal, not after 9 o'clock time frame. It's good to be back, Kevin.
Who's a night owl? This guy.
And
right
this
here.
guy. And I also rise early, though, too.
You just don't sleep.
I burn the candle from both ends. Yeah, I think that's how the saying goes.
It's clearly working great.
I am definitely wide awake right now.
I mean, we're awake, we're lively, we're energetic, we have trailers to talk about.
And we have booze. Those are the two things we need for Trailer Hitch Podcast.
And a microphone, and there it is right there. But we also need one other thing, theme song. Here we are.
Boom.
You can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Turn the lights, grab a seat, pour yourselves a whiskey neat. It's time to judge the shit out of these future releases by the movie trailers. We're Trailer Hitch. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're Trailer Hitch.
Welcome to Trailer Hitch.
Welcome to Trailer Hitch.
Now in nighttime mode.
Is it?
I'm Kevin.
Midnight Trailer Hitch. It's brand new. Well, it's normal, but it's more normal for us. I'm James.
You are James, yes, there we go.
I was getting to it.
This is Trailer Hitch, where we rate and review movie trailers. We rate them on a scale of need to see more, or never need to see. If James and I both give a trailer a need to see rating, we celebrate, we go, see the movie, report back to you guys in a segment called Trailer in the Review, in which we review the trailer and the film in retrospect.
That's right.
But we're doing the former. We're talking about trailers tonight. We got quite a few, and it's dark outside. It's dark in the world, too. So we wanted to brighten things up with some...
dreary, I would say, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to brighten some things up with some comedy trailers, right? We're going to be doing The Dead Don't Die.
Yes.
We're going to be doing My Spy.
Okay.
And we're going to be doing The Joker.
It's right in
Joaquin
the title.
Phoenix says he viewed his life as a tragedy, but really it's a comedy.
It's a comedy.
As far as I'm concerned, this is a laugh riot.
Don't we all?
There we
It's
go.
a double laugh riot.
It's a double laugh riot.
Yeah.
We'll see if the double laugh riot translates to a double need to see. But before we can make you laugh, we are going to have to scare the pants off you.
This seems so unfair.
Everything comes with a catch.
It's a balance, right? You got to knock them down a
catch.
couple pegs before you bring them up with humor.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a balance. I get it.
It makes the humor more resonant.
Yeah.
So first things first, we are going to do some trailer tune-ups. These are trailers that we've already reviewed a trailer of on this podcast. This is us just giving you what our new thoughts are to the onslaught of trailers that keep coming.
Absolutely, yeah.
Second, third, fourths, fifths, all of those. And all of the trailers that we're going to be updating you on, all scary. And the first one, aptly, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
You can't run from that, man.
Nope.
You may try.
I have scary stories of my own.
You don't read the book. The book reads you.
We're next.
Right, so we reviewed Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark for our Super Bowl.
That was the Super Bowl ranking episode that we did. So technically, we actually didn't give it a need to see more, or never need to see, but we both ranked it pretty high.
Yeah, the first little bit of marketing we had for this were these 15-second spots.
If that.
Now, some of those had, like, little stories and little arcs going on in there. Some of them were just a lady walking into a bathroom and something's crawling on her face. James loved that one.
Interface.
It is interface, yes. Thank you.
It's more grotesque than you're implying.
As you can hear, James loved that.
Something on your face is not as big a deal as something in your face, Kevin. I think this is an important distinction to describe to everyone.
Now that we've described that,
yes,
we will go on to describing the first teaser trailer for this.
Yeah, the first footage we got for this was all broken up into different things. We were obviously able to tell these are separate stories. How does this teaser trailer shake things up or differ from that aspect?
I mean, dude, right out the gate, I'm getting the impression now that it's not an anthology film anymore, necessarily.
They really, and again, we could be misunderstanding this. It's a trailer. It could be out of context, and we just have no idea. It sounds like they're giving us a framing device for all of these separate stories, and it sounds like it's a book that someone is gathering all these scary stories from. And then it's bringing it into the real world,
Man,
possibly?
At least, I was about to say, at least on first pass, I was getting more of a goosebumpsy vibe from this.
It did feel very Goosebumps, which isn't a bad thing.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
And, young, curious minds, they want to read something that'll spook them.
Yeah, scare the pants off of them. I
Yeah,
understand.
and unfortunately what ends up happening is she reads this text, and the text is evil. It manifests monsters into the real world.
Or your deepest fears. That's also implied at some point in the trailer, right? It's you don't read the book reads you. Which is kind of like the book is knowing what it scares you, so that's the story it's going to bring into the real world? Question mark.
What if Rambo read the book? What would scare Rambo?
What would scare Rambo?
I think nothing, right?
Probably peace. Right? Peace scares Rambo.
Rambo should read the fucking book then, eh?
Bring that into the real world, please.
That'd be amazing.
I think we all need a little bit more of that.
But
take one for the team, Rambo. Anyway, so we have a lot more understanding of how this movie is kind of laying out, but also it brings out some questions, though, of are these all going to tie together seamlessly, or is it going to feel disjointed if it's trying to bring them all together?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting kind of like a classic horror vibe of, girl reads book and then someone across the town dies. And they're like, well, this probably isn't related. Sure, this lady had something crawling in her face, and that's what we just read.
Yes.
Crazy coincidence. Let's keep going. And then they read another passage about, someone dies after being chased down a hallway by a scary monster. They're probably like, two's a lot. Let's see if a third happens. And by that point, they're like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is us.
Oh, yeah. What did you think of this?
Now that I'm getting the vibe that it's not an anthology piece, I actually am kind of missing that. I think as of right now, this framing device kind of makes it a little cheesy for me. When you have like a character who is explicitly told, don't read this book, otherwise bad shit will happen.
Which has never been done in a movie before,
Absolutely
right?
Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Books are evil if we've learned anything from movies and television
Sometimes
shows.
board games, Jumanji, just don't roll the fucking dice, dude. That's all you have to do.
But it happens when you read the text in the center of the board game. It's reading, man. Just stop reading, everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone stop reading, and we're all going to be
back
fine.
to reading, yes, you're correct. Yeah, there is this part of me that's like, I'm not saying you deserve what's coming to you, but you're kind of, you're losing my empathy right now.
I think I agree with you in a certain extent. Now, it's just weird, because those single spots from the Super Bowl, they were so impactful because they were very short, but they were very focused on what they were about.
Yeah,
and then they were done, and then you had to linger and think about what you just watched.
And I think you put it really well, man. The focus from those early pieces, and of course, if something is 15 seconds, you goddamn hope the thing is focused.
Yeah.
You only have to maintain a train of thought for 15
That was a really
seconds.
muddled 15 seconds.
Yeah, definitely the focus is lacking, and there is something to be said about the more context you give, the less scary something can seem.
So,
and I think that's kind of why I'd be kind of disappointed if this turns out not to be an anthology piece, because again, stuff can be missold in trailers or...
Yes, exactly. It's hard to market anthology films, and we kind of thought, oh, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is doing it right with these Super Bowl spots. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, but it might not be an anthology movie, maybe? I think it's still, it's important for me to say, I still think this looks good, but I just think those Super Bowl spots were more impactful.
That's fair, because it is. It's definitely sensory overload with the amount of scary stories they provide you.
So I don't know if this, it's interesting, because if this came out before the Super Bowl spots, who knows how I would have felt about it, but this is a tune-up. Granted, we are giving these a rating for the first time, but we are still tuning this up.
Yeah.
And after what came before, I think for me, this is a need to see more now.
Yeah, I'm definitely in need to see more now as well. Focus definitely doesn't seem to be there. Again, if that framing device is as simple as they're making it out to be in the teaser, give us a reason why she reads it, other than just morbid curiosity.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that for that one.
All right. Well, let's go on to our next spooky story. And this one isn't just spooky, my man. This is also extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile.
That's a lot of adjectives, Kevin.
They just threw too many at us. I'm also, while we look at the trailer, I'm going to also make sure that I got the order of this right.
This is about catching a monster.
I wish I could take it all back.
The killings were extremely wicked, shockingly evil, vile.
Did you do these things, Ted?
The first trailer for Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile was kind of cut like it was an I, Tonya riff.
We discussed, other people reviewing the trailer or audiences watching the trailer may have had a problem with how they were representing Ted Bundy. A lot of people got the implication that the trailer was kind of just...
downplaying.
Yeah, downplaying
how vicious his crime.
Exactly. I maintain the stance that I think it highlighted the fact that he is wickedly evil, shocking, vile, what have you.
He's the adjective.
In whatever order. But the movie itself is going to be like an entertaining ride. So I never had a problem with it. But I know a lot of people did. Mm-hmm. So, the question remains, now that we have a second trailer for this movie, does it double down? Is it going to make those people even more mad? Is it going to make them just as mad? Or is it going to make them a little bit happier?
Well, I would argue that they've done an Aladdin skid. I think that is going to be
That's the new technical term for a 180.
This trailer definitely plays it significantly darker. The charm that was present in the first trailer has completely vanished.
But we still have the characters in the movie seeing that Ted Bundy is charming the pants off of everyone.
Yeah, but now the trailer definitely paints it in a less, I don't want to say flattering light, but when we see Ted Bundy look at the camera in the courtroom, we get those kind of like menacing, like...
We get a lot more menacing looks
Yeah.
from Ted Bundy. We get a lot more... The intellectual bullying, like we like to call on this podcast, of just like titles or words being sprawled across the screen, was very much like holding your hand that this guy's evil. Again, just in case you guys didn't know, he's a bad guy.
Definitely hold your hand on how evil he is.
Yeah,
the entire time.
and don't worry, everyone in this movie will eventually figure out he's evil also. He's not really gonna fool anyone. He didn't in real life. He won't in this movie either.
Yeah, and I do wonder if part of it is if the Aladdin skid comes from the reaction, or if simply this is the first trailer that we've gotten for this since Netflix acquired it. In Netflix, which has a Ted Bundy documentary series that ended up becoming incredibly popular, which, by the way, the fact that I have to say they're chasing after that Ted Bundy dollar, pretty fucked up, but here we are.
The Bundy bucks.
The Bundy bucks, thank you.
You're welcome.
So whether it is purely the reaction people had to that first trailer, or if they were like, no, we know what will sell when it comes to Ted Bundy. Which, again, that's a fucked up thing to say.
We know how to sell Ted Bundy, baby.
Right.
We know how to package that bundle of Bundy. Sorry, I'm a fan of alliteration, if that wasn't clear enough to the audience.
Bundy bucks will always live in my heart. Thank you, James.
That's a great point, though. Yeah, I think that is a good point. And it's definitely a new direction for the marketing.
Totally.
Did it work for you? Yeah.
Sorry, I was having some whiskey. Allow me to enunciate a bit more.
Oh, that's way clearer than
Thanks.
before.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with you, but the energy of that first trailer emphasized how entertaining that movie is going to be. And this one doesn't really hammer home the entertainment value as so much as it hammers home, hey guys, we're doing a movie on this really, 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 really evil person. We all know he's evil.
Let's take a look at the title. Let's see how many adjectives we can fit in the son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't mind the I, Tonya route of that first trailer.
Yeah.
Because Ted Bundy was incredibly charming. That's how he was able to get away with his crimes
for
as
so
long.
long.
As he
Exactly.
did.
Yes.
So I didn't necessarily mind that direction with the trailer or a movie going in that route in general, with the caveat of as long as they do get into the abhorrent shit that he actually did and don't just focus on his charm, because then otherwise the trailer and by extension the movie is just going to be falling for Bundy's trap.
Yes.
Even though he's fucking dead.
Which
that makes it even more embarrassing.
Right. I mean, spoiler alert, in case you didn't know. He did. So this addresses that, though. It kind of says that, oh, we're going to get into that stuff. And we're not just going to be focusing on how he duped everyone. End of movie. We'll end the movie right before, like, his sentencing.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, did he get away with it? I don't know. It's pretty charming. Were you rooting for him? Because we sure were.
Right, exactly.
That is not what is happening.
No. This is really, really hammering home how
Yes.
terrible he was. But really the major selling point that first trailer had was that charm and energy. And without that, you just have a Ted Bundy biopic. And I don't necessarily know if that's enough for me. I think Zac Efron looks like he's pretty good in it. But now that we're just entirely focused on, look at how his face subtly changes for a couple of these scenes. I'm like, oh yeah, Ted Bundy looks pretty good. What am I getting out of the movie that I can't get out of Netflix's very own docuseries?
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry to be a dick, but just reading his Wikipedia. As of right now, I would kind of want another layer to that. And though people took exception to the direction that first trailer took, it was at least a direction. And
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did like what we got in here. Mm-hmm. And I think combined with that first trailer, I'm not concerned that that style is gone. I just think it's showing all the facets that it will be having in it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I can't remember what I gave this one initially, but this trailer itself probably would have dropped it down to a need to see more.
Yeah.
If I was at a need to see it. And I think I was.
You were.
Yeah. So I think I'm dropping this one to a need to see more as well.
I was at a need to see more initially. I'm just going to keep it at a need to see more. But it's a bit lower of a need to see more.
Oh, we're going to keep our eye on you, Ted Bundy.
Yep.
You watch yourself, you rascal.
By a fucking fingernail, Ted
boys
Bundy.
will be boys, am I right?
You're lucky that you have charm, even though the trailer doesn't show you have it.
Okay.
All right.
Moving on.
We are moving on because we have one more trailer to tune up.
Yes.
This is a movie that we have had to tune up already. And the last time we did that was one of the rare instances where we dropped pretty hard from both being at need to sees all the way down to like low need to see more.
Yes.
And
which actually just happened for me in the last two that we just reviewed just now. Let's see if it's a theme.
Yeah, once the door was kicked open, now we just fucking flood.
Look what you started, Pet Semetary.
It really is all your fault.
Yeah.
Let's see if Pet Semetary can raise its grade from the dead. And look at this final trailer.
It's okay now. Are you back?
Back from where?
There's a place Rach brings things back.
I should never have shown you that place.
But you did.
Sometimes dead is better.
This movie is probably already out by the time you're listening to this. Because
Likely. Yeah.
It comes out.
Unless you cut the shit in like 20 minutes.
At the time of recording, Pet Semetary will come out tomorrow. So we're just going to do a real quick, how do we feel about this? Because the first trailer, we're over the moon about it.
Loved it.
We definitely loved it.
Yeah.
The second trailer felt like it gave a lot of stuff away that maybe would have worked better in context in the film and not have that ruined for you.
Sure.
This final trailer doubles down on the thing it ruined in the last one. But, it's a big but, they do it instantly. It's instantaneous. She's not even alive when the trailer starts. The trailer starts and the daughter of Jason Clarke is already dead, and he is already so many kinds of messed up with like taking care of her. And then we kind of reel it back and see, oh, she got hit by a truck. She's dead. And then we find out more about the Pet Semetary. It was kind of like a, here's where we are, now let's back it up. Yeah. Okay, that's where we are, now let's back it up even more. So I feel like if this is the first trailer we saw for Pet Semetary, I would have no qualms with this at all.
Probably not.
At all. I'm like, oh, this is an interesting movie about someone.
And this is what it's about.
This is what it's about.
Yeah, I really liked that first trailer. And yeah, that second one came, and we were like, what the fuck? The little girl dies?
It played it as like, oh, this is the twist of the movie that we're telling you about right now. Like the twist. And this trailer, the final trailer, plays that as, no, that's not a twist. That's what this movie's about.
It's the premise of the film. And so, if it turns out that is the premise of the film, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then in retrospect, it kind of makes me look back at that first trailer and think, man, it's really interesting that they hid that.
That was a misleading trailer then.
Yeah,
almost.
Totally. Like in retrospect, you look at it and say, if you're not going to reveal that, if you're just going to sell me on the hipster horror plus classic horror mashup, then I would say just stick with that throughout the entire marketing campaign.
I'm still excited to see this movie. For all the shit that it put me through, I'm still very excited. And
How disappointed are you going to be if you see the film and it's not as much of an emotional roller coaster as the marketing campaign?
As the journey we've been on together. Yes. I will be pretty disappointed. But, okay, looking at this trailer on its own merits, in its entirety, I thought this was a great trailer. It, like, you know, it started with that, like, oh, this guy is bathing a corpse. Ooh, that's spooky and fucked up and weird. Yeah. Then we bring it back and we see a little bit of how we got there. Then we bring it a little back and learn about the Pet Semetary and John Lithgow giving us some context there. It just flowed really well. Like, I really loved this trailer a lot.
I would say the worst thing I could say about this is the intellectual bullying that's happening here.
So that is a big part of it.
Yeah. Yes. So we here at Trailer Hitch, we mostly see it with foreign and independent films. Yes. Because they are desperate to get you to come and see this in a theater. Because most hipsters, they like to sit at home.
Yeah. Or movies that know they messed up in the marketing in their previous trailers.
That's fair.
Do it a lot.
Fair. Yeah, intellectual bullying is when, again, typically with a foreign film, you don't really get that much of the movie itself in the trailer. It's just a lot of title cards that are critics' quotes, which basically amount to, you want to seem smart, don't you? Well, this person's smart. They liked it. You want to seem smart, right? Go see the movie.
Or don't even see the movie. Just say you liked it.
Just say you liked it. And if you watched it and you didn't get it, well, then I guess you're dumb, I guess.
Keep that to yourself, you dumb dummy.
Yeah, and ultimately, well, no, I get to decide what I think of a movie. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
You can help me make this opinion by showing me what's in the movie. And the fact that you keep hiding it behind quotes from the LA Times makes me think something may be askew with this.
Something's up, yeah.
Now, we typically see that with more independent films. Here we're seeing that with Pet Semetary. And I think to a degree, it might just be, oh shit, a horror film, which those are typically panned and beat to shit by critics.
Usually, yeah.
Is getting fairly positive reviews. We gotta throw this front and center.
Yeah.
That said, with them really hammering those quotes, it does hit the point where it becomes distracting. And so while I'm getting into the story that this trailer is telling me, we're pulling ourselves out every 10 to 15 seconds to have, Johnny Schmo from fucking the Nashville Gazette tell me that this is the best Stephen King adaptation of all time. And I'm like, The Shining, though. And then I have to get back into it.
Yeah, we're not saying that it feels like this is hiding things. Because like you said, there's good stuff in this trailer. Mm-hmm. There's great stuff in this trailer. These title cards, these intellectual bullyings feel more like distractions. And I can't decide if that's a worse or better offense. I think it's better. than just like me going, you're hiding how bad this movie is.
Or you're hiding how you had no idea how to cut a trailer for this.
You're hiding behind these quotes.
Yeah.
You're using these as a crutch. This didn't need to use them as a crutch, so they ended up being distractions. And I think that counts against it a little bit, for sure. I think that's a fair critique. For me, though, I think the content that we do get in it was enough to swerve me back into my lane of needing to see this movie. And I'm back to need to see it. I'm all over the fucking map with this bad boy.
Well, so with this trailer, yes, the intellectual building does pull me out of it. What I like is really strong, though. I think that the scares that we get in this are pretty effective. It certainly hints at boo, I gotcha scares, but this is definitely, in the trailer, selling me on the atmosphere of the movie. And that is, in of itself, really well handled. So, need to see.
Need to see it.
Yeah,
hey, we're back on track.
We're all the way back.
See, no one was harmed in the reviewing of this trailer. Let's move on to our freaking main drag.
Yeah, man.
That's what we call the main trailers.
Just to ease this transition, because we're going to be going to the wacky world of comedy, we're going to smooth the transition out by going to The Dead Don't Die first.
In this peaceful town,
This is really awful.
on these quiet streets,
Oh, was it wild animals?
something terrifying,
Oh my.
something horrifying
Excuse me.
is coming.
I'm thinking zombies.
What?
The Dead Don't Die, they make trailers. This is The Dead Don't Die, written and directed by Jim Jarmusch. This is starring Chloe Sevigny, Adam Driver, Tilda Swinton, Steve Buscemi, Caleb Landry Jones, Selena Gomez, Bill Murray, Austin Butler, Tom Waits, Carol Kane, Danny Glover, Rosie Perez, Iggy Pop, RZA, and... God, I need to take a second.
Those are just the people in the trailer, by the way.
Our random shout out, because we here at Trailer Hitch, we like to give shout outs to lesser known cast or crew members, because the top billed people, they tend to hog all the credit. So we are going to give
I blame Bill Murray.
That's who I blame. Yeah, totally. We are going to give a shout out to Tim Patrick, who is the transportation co-captain. Hey, Tim, whatever you're transporting, you clearly did it well because the movie exists.
That's right, yeah. Which movie is that, Kevin?
That is The Dead Don't Die. So we start off with an attack at a diner. And this
Actually, I'm going to interrupt you right there. We start off with something more, and it's something that I really appreciated. We go like way back to like a mid-'80s, early '90s trailer voiceover.
Sure.
Of just like your classic, I'm the trailer guy, and I'm going to narrate some things real quick. It felt like a throwback.
This entire trailer is a throwback.
Yeah.
I was going to get to it. I was just going to talk about the content of the movie. But no, you're right. That is a huge part of this trailer.
And it really leads you into it. It holds your hand to, hey, we're going to go back in time a little bit in our style.
Yes.
And it was perfect. It set the stage. Then it leads us right into the diner where... What happens? I will let you...
Attack occurs,
occurs, where I interrupted you the first time.
Mm-hmm. Zombies.
It's an attack on me, interrupting you.
It's okay. Zombies attack. And there is something off about the zombie attack that we noticed. The major one being one of those zombies is totally Iggy Pop.
Yes.
So that's our first clue that this isn't going to be your typical zombie film.
No, not at all.
Then next we have the police come, who try to make sense of this. It is worth noting that the police officers are played by Chloe Sevigny. We have Adam Driver. He knows what's up.
I mean, I'm pretty obsessed with him at the current moment.
And Bill Murray, who, okay, this is going to give us a pretty clear representation of tone, eh? And they are trying to pitch theories on what caused this attack.
It's wild animals, Kevin. We know it.
And then Bill Murray asks Adam Driver's character, and plain as a bell, just says, I'm thinking zombies.
What?
Ghouls. And then we get into like the full extent of the film from there.
Yeah.
We see this disparate cast of characters. We largely stick with the police officers throughout this.
A little bit more with Tilda Swinton, too.
Yeah, we do get a little bit more with Tilda Swinton, who plays a mortician.
And a swordsman.
And a swordsman. Sure.
It feels like this is broken into three groups that we're following, or three. So it's the cops, it's Tilda Swinton, and then it's
Selena Gomez
and her posse.
Friends.
I didn't get the sense that she crossed paths with everyone in this trailer. We know Tilda Swinton crossed paths with the sheriffs because she describes her very ease at handling the undead.
With a sword, yes.
With a katana sword.
Yep.
So I'm very interested to see how this all comes together.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a anthology type of thing of just showing
Does not look like
different
it.
Perspectives.
We have Tom Waits in the woods, which
can't forget about Tom Waits.
Which, going back to the Buster Scruggs trailer, this is the second Tom Waits character who just lives out in the fucking woods
with a good old bushy beard.
Hey, whether or not he's typecast or not, as long as he's getting work, baby. Now, something that I found particularly interesting about this from a broader standpoint is this is coming from Jim Jarmusch. And the last time we reviewed a trailer for one of his movies was for Patterson.
Patterson starring Adam Driver.
A couple things that I'll point out. One, pretty big left turn in tone for him. Like, this is definitely a
Jim
zombie.
Jarmusch?
Yeah, this is definitely a zombie comedy to the fullest.
I mean, I never saw Patterson, but it's not a comedy.
No.
Like, through and through.
No.
Yeah.
It's an existential tone poem, baby.
The whole movie's a poem,
there is comedy.
Right? You have a very weird sense of humor if you call that a comedy.
Right?
Yeah.
And when I say zombie comedy, I would say this probably lives in the middle ground between Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland.
Yes.
It seems to carry some of the self-referentialism.
It's as dry as Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
But it's got Bill Murray, so Zombieland.
Well, it's also pretty self-referential, though, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, Jim Jarmusch had cast Iggy Pop in Coffee and Cigarettes. Yeah. What's the thing zombie Iggy Pop wants? Coffee. Okay, we're kind of calling attention to you're calling attention to yourself, Jim Jarmusch, which is a thing that I never thought you'd ever fucking do.
He's having fun now. That's when directors start just saying fuck it and just have fun. Yeah,
totally. And on top of that, the last time we reviewed a Jim Jarmusch movie, we were talking about him being an untrailerable filmmaker. How it's really hard to sell his style in a film. And I guess it turns out the cure for that is do something that's completely different. And eventually someone's just going to lock in and figure it out.
How about do a concept that the concept alone is super marketable? Like zombies and humor is something that Edgar Wright has just paved the way for, and Zombieland cashed in on it. Those are the two main ones. So, yeah, it's a concept that is very popular. I mean, zombies just can't seem to die.
Hey, the dead don't die.
Yeah, and I'm okay with it. Like, I've said multiple times how I feel like I'm getting burnt out on zombie films, and I am. But this seems so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, the humor in it, the dryness, the visual style looks fun.
Really striking me is how fucking cool everyone is with a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, no one is screaming their head off.
No.
They're either like, huh, or this is gonna end badly. Yeah, they're just so nonchalant about it. I haven't seen a lot of Jim Jarmusch movies, and by that I mean I've seen one Jim Jarmusch movie, and it was Only Lovers Left Alive, which is his vampire movie.
Correct.
And I loved that movie. I really
like it too.
I also wouldn't call that a comedy.
No. You had joked with me when you first sent me the trailer, oh, this would be a great companion piece to Only Lovers Left Alive.
Yeah, it's Jim Jarmusch's undead duology.
Totally.
Yeah.
But in all actuality, to a degree, this does look like it's sort of playing a companion piece to that movie, because we do have characters who are utterly bored, and it does kind of play into the macro. Yeah, we're completely oversaturated with zombie content right now. And so it's at the point where zombies are so commonplace that if a zombie apocalypse happened, there would be some part of you that's like, oh, yeah, I've seen this.
Let's be honest. I'm thinking zombies. Like, yeah, there's probably a better explanation, but we're all thinking it.
Yeah.
It's zombies.
Yeah. Them killing a zombie and Bill Murray asking Adam Driver's character if, oh, those are some pretty good cuts. Did you do Little League?
You played minor league baseball, didn't you?
Yeah, a little Class A, but it was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
They're just talking about innocuous shit during a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, I'm just really excited about this movie.
Well, and, we brought it up really briefly at the top, but I will say it is interesting to see the trailer do kind of a throwback style, to have really plain gray backgrounds with this, black shadow text just sort of floating at you.
Yeah.
It does really evoke a direct-to-DVD, or at the time it would have been
Oh,
VHS,
yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
horror movie from the 80s or the 90s. I will say that definitely threw me off the first time I was watching it, because again, this is so not Jim Jarmusch's regular thing. And it took me a couple of watches to go, oh wait, no, this is what it's going for. And after a while I was able to appreciate that a little better, but it sounds like you were just fucking on it.
I was on it right away, yeah. I mean, I had the benefit of not having seen any other Jim Jarmusch movies other
Down
than
by Law is so good.
Other than one, so I didn't have that stigma going into it. So I think I was able to watch it better at face value. I was able to catch on real quick to what this is, and that I love it.
Totally. So that's a need to see.
That's a need to see.
It's also a need to see for me.
Let's not beat around the bush.
I will say that some of the comedy in here is, I guess, seemingly like a little easy. Like, just kind of like Chardonnay. Did she just say Chardonnay? Yeah, she did. If anyone other than Bill Murray says that, that just fucking falls flat.
Yeah,
on its
that's
face.
a fair point. That is one of the weaker jokes in the trailer.
Selena Gomez just saying, oh, well, that's unfortunate, to something we don't see off screen. Is like, I mean, like, the entire construction of it, from like a throwback trailer standpoint, to the stuff that does work really fucking works, though.
Yeah.
And I guess it remains to be seen if it is trying to make a broader point about how we are oversaturated with zombie shit, and this is kind of playing off of that, or not.
Yeah.
But at the moment, that's sort of what I'm taking from this, and I'm enjoying it. So,
I think that Chardonnay line would have landed better if we didn't already have the line of Adam Driver saying they're drawn to what they liked when they were humans.
Yeah.
If you have a zombie out of context just saying Chardonnay, did she just say Chardonnay? Yeah. That's funny without knowing already.
I just chuckled. So yes.
So it's like, maybe that should have been first, then Adam Driver's line, then Iggy Pop saying coffee. And then, I think that might have...
There could have been an easier way to construct it.
I think so. Anyway, I don't know. I just thought of that off the cuff. Need to see it, double need to see it.
Yes.
Should we move on?
We are moving on. So now we're going to get away from the dead entirely, but we're going to keep the stakes that high, baby. Because death is on the line when it comes to spies. And specifically, we're talking about my spy.
Your spy?
Are you CIA?
How'd you get in here?
Oh, because she has a camera, she might be streaming. What's the option?
Kill her. Make it look like an accident. Yeah, maybe the stairs.
What? Wow, still recording. We can cut a deal. I want you to teach me how to be a spy. So what's first? Shooting range, obstacle course, or how to walk away from an explosion?
Damn, she's good.
I Spy with My Little Eye, My Spy. This is directed by Peter Siegel, written by Eric and John Hoiber. This is starring Dave Bautista, Chloe Coleman. We also have Kristen Shaw, Ken Jeong. Our random shout out is going to go to Reiki Morzaria, who plays Tina. Hey, Reiki, good job, bud. You're in a movie.
You're in a movie with Dave Bautista. Not doing too bad, I think,
straight.
for yourself.
So, I mean, the truncated version is, what if The Professional was a comedy? A bit more in full. Dave Bautista handily kills and maims a bunch of dudes in a warehouse. There's a big-ass explosion. He looks fly as fuck.
Gets put in the doghouse for it, though.
And then Ken Jeong, who's his boss, is like, you were just supposed to get information, and now all of those people are dead. So he is in the doghouse. At the same time, we have this young girl who has jelly on her face and some kids tease her. She discovers this sting operation.
She stumbles across Dave Bautista and Kristen Shaw, and she instantly starts taping them. Taping. God, the kids would just laugh at me right now. Recording on your device.
She's recording them.
What do you do when someone stumbles across your secret CIA lair?
Kill her.
You gotta kill her, right?
Make it look like an accident, push her down the stairs. Turns out she's still recording.
Yeah.
She uses this as leverage and asks Dave Bautista to take her under her wing. Now, if you're wondering, why doesn't Dave Bautista just take her phone and delete the video? You have to bear in mind, a 9-year-old stumbled onto his operation, so he's clearly not very good at his job.
I mean, as Ken Jeong said, he doesn't really put the intelligence in Central Intelligence Agency. He's not very all there upstairs.
Yeah, and that's basically what we have. Hijinks ensue, where she desperately wants to learn how to walk away from explosions. Dave Bautista wants nothing to do with her, but, is just kind of along for the ride.
Yeah. It's either this or kill her. So.
Right. And she basically takes him under her wing just as much and tries to get to the guy underneath the murderer.
Yeah.
And that's our trailer. I would say this isn't entirely doing it for me yet. Primarily because, from a character standpoint, I feel like there could be way more done with kind of relating the struggles that Dave Bautista has to what Chloe Coleman's character has. Because as of right now, they are really hammering home, like, just how different and wacky it is that these two happen to be hanging out.
Yeah.
And I think it would just be more interesting if they had, like, a common thread.
More
genuine connection.
Yeah, cross paths.
Because as of right now...
moments.
Yeah, because as of right now, I just see... Chloe Coleman really wanting to be a
spy.
Part of Dave Bautista's world, and Dave Bautista wanting nothing to do with it.
Yeah, you get a hint of her saying, "Oh, you should try and smile and have a good time sometimes," and then we don't really follow that thread, you know?
But I would assume the reason why we don't follow the thread is I'm sure that's the entire fucking movie.
And,
At least is what the trailers
I appreciate then, because it is hard for comedies not to give you the entire plot in their trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said... Oh, actually, sorry, you had some. Sorry, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
I will also say from a story perspective, we completely go all in on Dave Bautista in the school and on the playgrounds and going to ice rinks with her.
Outings with her.
With her. I was really surprised to see that we had completely dropped off on the spy stuff for the rest of the trailer. That felt like a really weird choice.
Yeah.
It just kind of gives me the impression that, for the most part, it is just going to be Dave Bautista and Chloe Coleman hanging out.
Well...
Which is fine, but there seems to be like a really huge thread that we're just leaving out of this film that could potentially be really fun and engaging.
Well, like you said, the story really isn't doing it for me, but Dave Bautista's really great in this trailer.
Oh, he's really funny.
And every joke he has lands. And I like seeing him in a role like this. I think he does humor really great in Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's kind of good to see him doing stuff like this. But that is all this trailer has going for it. It is... If you put anyone else in this Dave Bautista role, I don't think I even bring this trailer to the podcast to review. Like, that's how little I would have cared about it.
Sure. I think Chloe Coleman is fine. I think that there is this weird impulse in comedies when you have a kid being thrust upon in, like, an adult role.
Yeah.
Where you make them, like, the smartest and most emotionally intelligent kid on the planet. That also isn't really quite as interesting to me. And also, if this character isn't going to grow at all, then why am I watching this character?
I did like the moment where they're both walking away from the explosion in slow motion, and she, like a noob, looks back at it. And he's like, no, we don't look back at it. You don't look at it. You're instantly less cool when you look back at it. That was a cool moment. But yeah, it's pretty much a nothing trailer. Dave Bautista's delivery saves a lot of it. If it wasn't for his line of, well, we need to kill her, this might have
even
been
you just
nothing.
Saying it makes me giggle
Yeah,
again.
its
delivery is
it's
really strong.
Perfect. It's perfect.
But even then, that delivery reminds me so much of Drax.
Yes.
And
You're right.
I'm going to end up seeing at least one more Avengers movie. There's going to be another Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
But Drax is dead. He disintegrated after the snap.
Wink.
I mean, he did, but he'll be back.
But I think if I want to get my kicks with this character, there are movies that I think may have a little bit more promise that will have these moments.
Yeah. I mean, Dave Bautista saved it a little bit for me, but this is a never need to see it for me.
Also a never need to see for me as well.
Yeah. But we brought it to the table, we talked about it, and now you know, guys. Now you know. Don't even bother with this one.
I guess there could be also a thing going with this movie where, like, it could be a takedown of toxic masculinity and how...
Hey, there you
like,
go.
This young girl kind of teaches Dave Bautista's character to embrace his feminine side, and that ultimately makes him maybe potentially a better spy, or at least a happier person, but we don't get that.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it looks like a movie that was made for Vin Diesel like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Or The Rock.
Or The Rock, yep,
to a degree kind of feels like another The Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, but I'm glad Dave Bautista is getting some more work. I just like seeing
especially
him get
comedy. We have all walked away from Guardians and thought, like, he's really fucking
In Stitches, Drax the Destroyer of jokes.
Yeah.
Speaking of jokes.
Yeah, let's go into our ultimate comedy of the night. This is The Joker.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Smile, though your heart is aching.
What's so funny? Freak!
I used to think that my life was a tragedy. But now I realize it's a comedy.
If you just smile.
Boy, all right, so we've been fucking up. This is just Joker, not The Joker. We're going to dive in. We're going to see if this is a smoker or midnight toker. This is directed by Todd Phillips, written by Scott Silver, and co-written by Todd Phillips. This is starring Joaquin Phoenix, Zazie Beetz, Robert De Niro, Brian Tyree Henry.
Brian Tyree Henry, baby.
Shea Wiggum.
He's hilarious, if you don't know him.
Mark Maron is also in this, I guess. Jesus, this is also pretty stacked, too. Our random shout-out is going to go to Victor Perez, who was the animator on this. Hey, Victor.
What?
What are you animating in this? We're intensely curious.
Hey, like, let's not draw attention to it. He's getting a paycheck, and he really doesn't. He really is like sliding one under the radar there.
We should probably cut this, yeah. So, getting the impression this isn't quite a comedy. This is a dark character study.
Yeah, we really missold at the beginning of the episode here. We're sorry, folks. Just kidding. We know you're all here for us to talk about this movie, and we all know, you know, this isn't a fucking comedy, as much as Joaquin Phoenix is trying to convince us it is.
It is a dark character study where a guy who is a comedian, struggling comedian by the look of it, given that he's...
Aspiring comedian.
Yeah, given that he's spinning signs outside of establishments.
Yes.
Takes care of his mother.
Yep.
I get the impression that she's ailing, given that he's bathing her, and if she's not ailing, then their relationship is fucked up.
It could be both.
This character, this Joker, if you will. Is beat up a shitload, just out on the streets, and he starts to develop this mentality that the world is a dark and dangerous and terrible place.
I mean, can you blame him?
And why
from what we've gotten from this fucking trailer?
And why is he even bothering trying to make people smile? It seems like he's trying to maintain his humanity, but he just slowly loses faith in it to the point where he just slaps some makeup on and decides to start fucking some stuff up.
I mean, he doesn't really lose faith in humanity. He just kind of shifts his perspective. So he's probably looking at it as a good thing. This is good. I'm not giving up on anything. This is my new purpose, whatever this is.
Yeah.
Guns and terrorizing and makeup.
So what did you think of this?
I am slightly confused about the DC universe. The Supermans, the Batmans, the Aquamans of the world.
I'm really happy this trailer did not shove any of that down my throat.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think this isn't tied into... Like the Aquaman, that movie we just got, is tied into already a Batman. It's Ben Affleck's Batman. That Aquaman movie did really fucking well. And it sounds like this Shazam movie that's coming out is also going to do really well. You're just kind of going to confuse people. It's like, but this is the Joker. Like,
God damn, I disagree with this so hard. I guess just because...
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you might lose some people. Not me. I won't be confused.
I mean, maybe, but as far as that universe is concerned, isn't Jared Leto the Joker? Or Jared Leto?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
correct.
It's a different take on him.
But I'm saying you're not telling people right before the movie starts, hey, by the way, this is a different universe from that other Batman movie you saw later. Like, we know that because we kind of like pay attention to the trades and watch kind of casting rumors and know a little bit more. But your average moviegoer, your average Joe who, you know, works not in the industry and just goes, sees comic book movies, might go see this and go, how does this tie into Jared Leto? Like, that's what might happen to some people.
Maybe there would be someone.
You're giving people a lot more credit for being able to
I do have more faith
out.
in humanity than the Joker, yes.
Guilty. I'm not that concerned about it. I'm going to stop talking about that, though, because people probably want to know what we thought about this trailer in particular. Like you said, the tone is completely different than any other DC movie we've gotten. Probably the most similar to Christopher Nolan Batman movies.
I would say even less action-oriented, though. I mean, like, aside
from...
from...
for sure. That's
Joker,
not tone, though. That's more genre.
Aside from the Joker getting beat up, I don't really think there's any other action in this
he's holding a gun, but...
Yeah, we get hints to he has committed a crime, and you see Thomas Wayne talking about
someone's chasing him down in the subway with another gun.
He gets hit by a car. There's stuff like that throughout the trailer.
But you're right. This is not an action movie.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I'm kind of defending it is because it's what I really appreciate about the trailer, is it is really doing its own thing.
Yes.
As far as a superhero movie is concerned. I will say something else I really like about it is they're basically painting a
face painting.
They're face painting a origin story, but with a villain. That's incredibly fascinating to me because it's basically taking, I think, what is ultimately a stock superhero origin of the world is fucked up, so I'm going to do something about it. And typically they put on a mask and they go and they punch the people who are punching people in the streets.
Yes.
And Joker, maybe that's what he thinks he's doing, but is he actually doing that? Probably not, because he's a villain.
What I appreciate about it is because we have gotten a sort of that already with the Venom movie that came out. It's like, oh, this is a villain, but it's like an origin story for a villain. The problem with Venom was they didn't commit to that him being a villain, though. He was an anti-hero.
Yeah.
And barely even an anti-hero. He was essentially a hero in that movie. This is very much, you can tell in this trailer even, that you are not going to be agreeing with the choices this person makes. It's fascinating. Yeah. And I was playing devil's advocate beforehand. I loved this trailer. I'm going to stop beating around the bush about it. I absolutely loved every aspect of it. There's one critique I had, which we'll get to in a little bit. But for the most part, it's the tone, it's the performances, it's the color palette, the way it looked. And the fucking music choice is fucking perfect, man.
Totally.
Smile, though your heart is aching.
Yeah.
Smile. You know, it was perfect for a Joker movie. You can tell you're going to feel bad for him.
There are points where you may be able to empathize with him.
Empathize, thank you, yes.
And then there's going to be a point where he goes off the fucking rails.
Where you're going to go, well, this is really sad that it went in this direction, but this person needs to be fucking stopped.
Right.
Yes, yeah, totally.
Watching Joaquin Phoenix, I felt like this was if every Joaquin Phoenix character in every movie he's played in Wonder Twin powered into one character. Because he carried the rough physicality of his character and you were never really here.
Okay.
Him falling down the stairs, I was like, that's exactly like his character in Inherent Vice.
Sure. His voice is Johnny Cash Walk the Line.
Right?
His laugh.
He's a performer.
He's a performer. Yeah. Where does that
Walk
laugh
line.
from, though? That laugh has to be from something.
I'm going to just say the master and know that no one will correct me on it.
Because no one has fucking seen it, Kevin. You're the only one. You psycho. It's only a matter of time, I suppose. I just need to beat you up more. I think that's how we're gonna get the Kevin villain origin story that we've all wanted.
I feel like we're gonna walk out of this movie and you're gonna be like, if Joker didn't do anything wrong, I totally fucking see where he's coming from. And I'm going to have to talk you off of a ledge and being a supervillain.
It's correct. So, okay, wrapping back around to the one critique I had about it. And I don't care if they didn't do this because it's been done before. Every other trailer that has had the Joker in it has done this already.
Sure.
I don't care. You end it on the laugh. I feel like it is just a tried and true, effective thing to end on when you are focusing on the Joker. After the title card comes on, you gotta have the laugh in there. Even a little bit of one, just underneath the title. I think it's a missed opportunity. I think that's an effective, maybe manipulative, but it's an effective marketing thing.
And I think I'll defend the choice not to end with a laugh, because that is what they've done for most of the trailers that we've seen. They
almost always do it, yeah.
And it's not a derivative argument. It's to give you the impression that this isn't your typical Joker story.
This ain't your daddy's Joker.
It ain't your daddy's Joker. It ain't even your 10 years ago Joker, because it really hasn't been that long since the Dark
This ain't
Knight.
your millennials Joker.
This ain't your Jared Leto's Joker that you just saw 3 years ago.
This is your generation. I don't know. What's the new generation now? I can't keep
Z?
track.
Because we're millennials. I think
Aren't
it's
we?
Z.
Look, it's not important. This ain't your grandpappy's Joker.
Yeah, like this has me kind of interested in DC movies. And like Shazam we talked about, and yeah, like that looks really fun.
It does look fun, yeah.
And it's at least somewhat different from Marvel's roster. This is completely fucking different from Marvel's roster.
Yeah.
I will say, if I have a critique in here, to avoid people saying, like, you know, you can totally see where Joker is coming from in this trailer. I really, really wanted him to...
You're staring right at me when you said that, Kevin. I see where you're coming from.
It's because you literally said that. I really wanted to see an act of violence from the Joker in this trailer. To really hammer home...
That's a really good point.
No, this is the direction he's going, and he's not someone who you should be empathizing.
That's a good point.
You can empathize with him at the beginning, but... this is what it leads to, and you have to understand that's not okay.
That's a really excellent point. We see seemingly fallout from him doing a crime.
Correct.
Oh, that's an excellent point. I would also be behind that decision 100%.
How great would it be if the next trailer is literally just the Joker beating someone for 2 minutes straight?
and then we go, whoa, whoa, whoa.
We're like, all right.
I wanted a balance.
Yeah, I feel like we were losing the character stuff that we were getting.
They're listening to us too closely.
Too much.
Anyway, did that sway you down from a need to see it? Did that sway you up from a never need to see it? Where are you, Kevin, with this trailer?
I'm at a need to see it with this.
I'm at a fucking need to see as well. Yeah, we got a cheers here. We got a double need to see.
I think the only thing I've really heard negative is more just the general, why do we need a Joker movie? Just because, like, you know, we've had... you know, however many, 3 different iterations of the Joker in the past decade. But because this is, I mean, for fuck's sake, it's practically the king of comedy plus Taxi Driver.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see the Taxi Driver aspect other than a guy going crazy, but King of...
I mean, that's pretty much what I'm
King
going
of But King of Comedy already has that, too. So we can
Let's just say
King
the
of Comedy, then, right? I mean, it's also got De Niro. I mean, De Niro's in Taxi Driver. Oh,
yeah, it was also in that.
Anyway, it's King of Comedy plus comic books. We'll put it that way.
Plus Mean Streets. No, shit.
Oh, God damn it, we're getting real... What
else has Martin Scorsese directed?
Let it be its own thing. The Color of Money.
Damn. Not really.
Hugo.
The Departed Hugo. No, we'll stick with Hugo.
Yeah.
There's a train. There's a train in Hugo. There's a train in Joker.
There's so many trains. It's so connected. Anyway, yeah.
All right, man. Well, that about does it for us.
Yeah, that's the punchline, ladies and gentlemen.
This has been our night of comedy. And scary stuff at the front half.
I hope you laughed.
And if you would like to laugh with us more, you can find us on iTunes. We have our entire backlog on there. Please rate and subscribe to our podcast. That would be amazing.
It's super helpful, you guys. It helps spread the podcast to other people.
You can also find us on Stitcher, too, if you're an Android user.
Absolutely.
You can also find us on YouTube. Now, if you'd like to contact us, plenty of ways to do that, too. You can find us on Facebook. If you just search Trailer Hitch Podcasts up in that little Facebook area. And in terms of other places you can follow us, that'd be Twitter, @TrailerHitchPod. You can also follow us on Instagram, @TrailerHitchPodcast. And you can also, if you'd like to send like a longer thought, or if you'd like to request a trailer for us to talk about, email us at trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com.
That's right.
We would like to thank Jenny Hawks, our Rockstar social media correspondent. We'd like to thank Rachel Ashley, who does the cover art for us. Thank you so much. You can find her work at Mighty Creations on Instagram.
Also a rock star.
We would like to thank Danny Schmitz from Lost in a Name, a literal rock star.
Literal rock star.
For that amazing intro that you hear at the beginning of our show. We'd like to thank Casey Clowers for the bitching outro, which you will hear momentarily, unless James has something to add.
I do, actually.
Fucking let's do it.
Real quick, and I've been very good at holding my tongue about it the whole episode, but...
Is this about fucking Star Wars episode
Star Wars
9?
Celebration is
Yeah.
upon us, Kevin.
Okay.
I will be flying to Chicago.
Yeah.
And I will be there among the fans, among all the Star Wars crazies, and I'm going to be there live when the Star Wars Episode 9 title and trailer drop.
You said Star Wars crazies as if you're not one of them. I'd like to correct that. You are one of them.
Thank you. I'm going to take that as a compliment.
You should. You
Good.
should. Be passionate
Good.
about shit.
I am. Next podcast episode, guys, we will have a Star Wars trailer.
Yes.
We will be talking about it because I will not let Kevin not talk about it because I'm obsessed.
I'd love to talk about
and
it.
I am a Star Wars crazy, as he says. Also, the reason I want to bring this up is because I will be at Star Wars Celebration gathering other fans' quick reactions to the trailer. I think it's going to be a fun thing to incorporate in the next episode. If you're listening and you're going to be at Star Wars Celebration, seek us out. Jenny, our Bad Movie correspondent, is also going to be there with me, and we are going to be collecting some input and incorporating that into the next episode. And we're going to dive into this fucking punctuation of a trilogy movie trailer, and I'm very excited about it. Look, I'm ready to be done. Are you?
I'm ready to be done. Let's get out of here.
Be done then.
You can't mount holy sails without a sailor stitch, and you can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Pet Semetary will come out tomorrow.
In this right now, it's like that first trailer, fucking fishtailed, like was backwards on the freeway for a little bit, but has now kind of like corrected itself.
Yeah.
It is now in its own third lane, and it's only going like 40 miles an hour, and you can tell the driver is clearly tense and scared.
No one got hurt. They're in the correct lane now.
Right.
But they left a lot of people pissed off right behind them, right in their wake. And that's how I feel like this trailer worked out.
Yes.